For most of us, the story of the Americas begins in 1492, the date etched into our minds as the moment the New World was discovered. But what if that moment wasn't a beginning at all? What if it was actually the end of a story that had already unfolded over thousands of years? A story of thriving civilizations, incredible ingenuity, and cultures as old as complex as any on Earth. Before Columbus ever set sail, these continents were already ancient, already alive, and already filled with human brilliance. If you enjoy exploring the hidden chapters of history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. There's so much more of the past still waiting to be uncovered. Thank you.
Picture the planet 18,000 years ago, perhaps even earlier. Massive ice sheets, miles thick, grip the northern latitudes, fundamentally reshaping the global landscape. With so much water locked away in ice, sea levels dropped dramatically, revealing a vast, grassy land bridge called Beringia. This wasn't just a narrow crossing, it was a continent-sized expanse, linking what we now know as Siberia to Alaska. And it was across this ancient land, a world of windswept plains and sparse tundra, that the first human footsteps ventured into the Americas. Genetic and archaeological evidence continues to push back the timeline, suggesting these earliest arrivals weren't just here 12 or 15,000 years ago, but perhaps as far back as 30,000 years ago. That's almost twice the textbook figure your teacher might have quoted. These aren't just minor adjustments to a timeline. They fundamentally change our understanding of human migration and adaptation. These earliest travelers didn't discover an empty Eden, waiting for human habitation. No, they stepped into a vibrant, sometimes terrifying ecosystem. Imagine confronting mammoths, 5 tons apiece, their shaggy forms lumbering across the plains. Picture saber-toothed cats, their formidable fangs glinting in the pale sun, or giant ground sloths, towering above ancient forests. They found valleys no human eye had ever seen, rivers untouched by human hands, and an abundance of life that would challenge and sustain them. And what a journey it was. Within a mere 2 millennia, their descendants, driven by curiosity, resourcefulness, and the pursuit of sustenance, had reached the very tip of South America. Think about that. From the Arctic Circle to Patagonia, in what, geologically speaking, was the blink of an eye. This land rush remains the fastest terrestrial expansion in prehistory, a testament to their incredible adaptability and mobility. By the time the ice retreated around 10,000 BCE, human communities had settled into virtually every major biome imaginable. From the frigid Arctic tundra, where people mastered hunting marine mammals, to the humid, biodiversity-rich Amazon rainforest, where complex agricultural systems would later emerge, to the dramatic Patagonian fjords of the far south. Estimating pre-Columbian populations is always a tricky business, fraught with academic debate, but even conservative figures suggest that by 1491, the Americas were home to somewhere between 50 and 60 million people. Let that sink in for a moment. That's more than inhabited all of Europe at the time. These millions weren't a monolithic block. They spoke over 2,000 distinct languages, a linguistic quilt no less varied and intricate than anything found across Eurasia. This wasn't a wilderness, it was a world teeming with human presence, culture, and language. So, who were these early inhabitants? The earliest widely recognized cultures are often referred to as Paleo-Indians. These were big game specialists, expert hunters who developed sophisticated tools for taking down megafauna. The iconic Folsom and Clovis points, those exquisitely napped, fluted stone blades, have turned up from Montana all the way down to Venezuela. Their widespread distribution is proof of a shared technological style, a testament to the rapid spread of ideas and techniques across vast distances. These weren't just spear tips, they were precision instruments designed to inflict maximum damage and secure vital food resources. But the world was changing. Around 8000 BCE, a dramatic shift occurred. The megafauna, the mammoths, mastodons, and giant sloths, vanished, likely due to a combination of climate change and human hunting pressure. At the same time, the climate itself was warming, ice sheets were receding, and environments were diversifying. This meant cultures had to adapt, and adapt they did. Most downsized their ambitions, moving away from specialized megafauna hunting towards a more generalized subsistence strategy. This period, often called the Archaic, is truly the Great Forgotten Age. It's not as flashy as monumental city building, but it was absolutely foundational. People lived in smaller, more mobile bands, following seasonal rounds to exploit diverse resources. This era saw a slow-motion revolution in food processing and resource management. Instead of just hunting big game, people learned to leach bitter tannins from acorns, making them edible and nutritious. They developed sophisticated fish weirs, trapping abundant aquatic resources. They painstakingly ground wild seeds on bedrock mortars, turning tiny grains into a staple food. Think about the sheer ingenuity. In the arid Atacama Desert, people were mummifying their dead with remarkable preservation techniques long before the Egyptians. On the vast Great Plains, communities developed communal bison hunting strategies, driving entire herds over cliffs, a testament to their organizational skills and understanding of animal behavior. In the harsh Great Basin, they built elaborate storage pits, sometimes lined with clay, to ride out lean winters, stockpiling nuts, seeds, and dried meat. It wasn't about grand empires yet, but this adaptive toolkit, this profound understanding of their environments and how to thrive within them, set the stage for everything that followed. It was a period of intense innovation, laying the groundwork for more complex societies. Now let's talk about a game changer, agriculture. Somewhere in central Mexico, roughly 9,000 years ago, a quiet revolution began. Farmers started tinkering with a seemingly insignificant weedy grass called teosinte. It didn't look like much, but it held the genetic potential for something extraordinary. 5,000 years of meticulous selective breeding, think generations of careful observation, planting and harvesting. Later, you get maize. Not just any maize, but a calorie bomb. A foundational crop that would fuel entire empires and feed millions. Maize alone was incredible, but indigenous farmers didn't stop there. They developed what we now call the Three Sisters agricultural system: maize, beans, and squash. It's a perfect symbiotic relationship. The maize provides a stalk for the beans to climb, keeping them off the ground. The beans, being legumes, fix nitrogen in the soil, enriching it for the hungry maize. And the broad leaves of the squash plant provide ground cover, suppressing weeds, conserving soil moisture, and even deterring pests. This wasn't just farming, it was ecological engineering, maximizing yield and soil health in a sustainable way. But maize wasn't the only agricultural miracle. Agriculture appears independently in at least 3 other major regions across the Americas. In the high Andes, people domesticated potatoes and quinoa, crops perfectly suited to harsh, high-altitude environments. In the Amazon basin, manioc, a starchy root crop, became a staple. And in the Mississippi Valley, indigenous peoples cultivated sunflowers and sumpweed, among other local plants. Once maize, often alongside these other domesticated crops, arrived in these places, populations absolutely exploded. The reliable food surplus allowed for sedentism, larger communities, and more specialized labor. Around 1000 BCE, you start seeing the first truly settled villages, complete with pottery for storage and cooking, sophisticated storage silos for their harvests, and even early ritual plazas, indicating a growing social and religious complexity. From here on, history doesn't just unfold, it accelerates, laying the groundwork for cities and civilizations. Let's zoom in and explore some of these burgeoning complexities, starting in North America. Just east of modern St. Louis, where the Mississippi and Missouri rivers meet, a remarkable civilization, the Mississippian culture, began to rise. Their crowning achievement was the city of Cahokia. At its peak around 1200 CE, Cahokia was a sprawling metropolis with an estimated 15,000 residents. To put that in perspective, its urban core was larger than London at the same time. The heart of Cahokia was Monk's Mound, a monumental earthen pyramid. Covering 14 acres at its base and rising 10 stories high, it was an astonishing feat of engineering, built entirely without the wheel or draft animals. Imagine the sheer human labor, the coordinated effort, required to move millions of basket loads of earth. Cahokia's elites weren't isolated. They imported mica from the Carolinas, copper from Lake Superior, and conch shells from the Gulf of Mexico. This extensive network of trade routes knit the mid-continent together, demonstrating a complex economic and political system. Travel farther west into the Four Corners region, and you encounter the ancestral pueblones. These master architects stacked stone upon stone, creating awe-inspiring cliff dwellings at places like Mesa Verde, literally carved into the rock faces and the magnificent great houses of Chaco Canyon. Chaco Canyon, in particular, was a major cultural and ceremonial center, with multi-story buildings containing hundreds of rooms. What's truly mind-boggling is their road system. Perfectly straight roads, some extending 60 miles across the mesas. These weren't commercial highways in our modern sense, but more likely pilgrimage routes connecting sacred sites and outlying communities, reflecting a deeply intertwined spiritual and social landscape. And then there's the Sonoran Desert, where the Hohokam people performed another marvel of engineering. They carved 800 miles of irrigation canals through the harsh desert landscape. Some were wide enough for 2 dugout canoes to pass side by side, a testament to their advanced hydrological knowledge. When Spanish missionaries arrived in the 1690s, they didn't have to reinvent the wheel. They simply cleaned out the accumulated silt and used the same channels, a testament to the enduring genius of the Hohokam. Coastal peoples were no less sophisticated. The Chinook of the Pacific Northwest, for example, lived in impressive split-cedar longhouses, some stretching hundreds of feet. Their societies were complex, with established hierarchies, even holding captives. They developed a unique trade jargon, a pidgin language that functioned as the continent's first lingua franca, facilitating interaction and commerce across diverse linguistic groups. From monumental mounds to intricate irrigation, North America was a vibrant tapestry of innovative, complex societies. Moving south into the heart of Mesoamerica, modern-day Mexico and Central America, we encounter civilizations that reached astonishing heights. Along the Gulf Coast of Mexico, the Olmec civilization emerged as early as 1200 BCE, often called the Mother Culture because of its profound influence on later societies. They are perhaps best known for their colossal basalt heads, massive stone sculptures, some weighing up to 10 tons. These weren't generic representations. They were portraits of real rulers, featuring individualized facial characteristics, proof of a concept we rarely attribute to ancient America: the power of a personality cult, where leaders were revered as divine or semi-divine figures. The Olmec left 2 transformative legacies. First, a ceremonial ball game, a ritualistic sport played with a rubber ball, which would persist for 3 millennia across Mesoamerica, often carrying deep religious and political significance. Second, they developed an early writing system of glyphs, a precursor that the Maya would later refine into the most sophisticated and comprehensive script in the entire pre-Columbian world. The Maya, building on these foundations, flourished in southern Mexico and Central America. During their classic period, circa 250 to 900 CE, city-states like Tikal and Calakmul boasted populations exceeding 50,000. They were intellectual powerhouses. They tracked a 365-day solar calendar with astonishing accuracy, predicted eclipses, and independently developed the concept of zero, perhaps centuries before it appeared in India. Their architectural achievements are equally breathtaking: towering pyramids, ornate palaces, and complex observatories. Don't picture a jungle collapse for the Maya. That's a simplification. While many southern cities experienced decline after 900 CE, northern centers like Chichen Itza kept the cultural torch burning bright, adapting and evolving. At its height, the Maya lowlands supported up to 10 million people, not through slash-and-burn agriculture, but through intensive, sustainable methods like raised field agriculture and sophisticated terrace farming, transforming wetlands into productive agricultural zones. Then, as latecomers to the Valley of Mexico, arrived the Aztec, or more accurately, the Mexican. In 1325, they founded their capital, Tenochtitlan, on an island in a salt lake. By 1519, this incredible metropolis housed an estimated 200,000 souls, making it 5 times the population of Seville, one of Europe's largest cities at the time. Tenochtitlan was a marvel of urban planning. Massive causeways connected the island city to the mainland. Aqueducts brought fresh water from distant springs, and chinampas, ingenious floating gardens, provided abundant food. They had public botanical gardens, even a zoo for their ruler Montezuma. This was urban planning on a European scale, but with unique adaptations to its lake environment, a testament to their engineering prowess and sophisticated social organization. While Mesoamerica often trends toward calendar obsession and complex writing, the Andes, along the spine of South America, went vertical. Here, civilizations mastered the art of stacking ecosystems, creating an astonishingly diverse and productive agricultural system. Imagine a single society drawing resources from multiple ecological zones: nutrient-rich fish meal from the Pacific coast, abundant maize from mid-elevation valleys, hardy potatoes and quinoa from the cold Puna grasslands high in the mountains, and even coca from the cloud forests. This vertical integration was key to their success. Early cultures like the Mochi, flourishing on the arid northern coast of Peru, circa 100 to 800 CE, irrigated river valleys so efficiently they could raise 3 crops a year. Their art is incredibly distinctive, particularly their portrait vessels, which depict individuals with remarkable realism, showing their faces, tattoos, and even disabilities. Art as a form of social realism, giving us a window into their lives. They were also master metallurgists, producing intricate gold, silver, and copper artifacts. After the Moche decline, the Chimu kingdom rose, building Chan Chan, the largest adobe city ever constructed. Its vast, labyrinthine compounds housed thousands and showcased advanced urban planning and craft production. But the Inca were the undisputed integrators, the masters of empire building in the Andes. Starting around 1100 CE, from their capital in Cusco, they began to knit together a vast territory. By the time of European contact, their empire, Tawantinsuyu, meaning the 4 quarters united, stretched over 600,000 square kilometers, encompassing millions of people in diverse environments. And they did this without currency, without the wheel for transport at least, and without iron tools. Yet they built an astonishing 25,000 kilometers of road, the Kapak Nyan, or Royal Road. This wasn't just a path. It was a sophisticated network of paved roads, suspension bridges over raging rivers, and staircases carved into mountainsides. A relay of highly trained chasqui runners could carry a message from Quito in the north to Cusco in the south in under a week, an incredible feat of communication and logistics. Their agricultural terraces climbed slopes at 30-degree angles, transforming steep mountainsides into productive farmland. They developed freeze-dried potatoes called chuño, which could last for 10 years and feed entire armies. Machu Picchu might be the postcard image, but the real marvel of the Inca Empire was its logistical genius. A state capable of warehousing maize at 4,000 meters above sea level and redistributing it across the empire when El Niño wiped out coastal harvests. This was a sophisticated, centrally administered empire, a true testament to human organization and engineering in a challenging environment. Across the Americas, indigenous policies ran the gamut, from relatively egalitarian bands of hunter-gatherers to highly stratified divine kingships and powerful empires. Leaders earned their authority through a variety of means: prowess in hunting or warfare, demonstrable generosity to their community, or through inherited genealogy and spiritual connections. Crucially, even in more hierarchical societies, autocrats were often checked by councils of elders, warrior societies, or powerful religious figures. There was a dynamic interplay of power, not a simple top-down command structure. A fundamental difference from European concepts was the understanding of land. Land was typically held communally, not as private property to be bought and sold. You might farm a plot cleared by your lineage, and your family would have rights to its produce, but the land itself belonged to the community, the clan, or even the spirit world. When the harvest was in, you often owed a share to the chief or the temple, not as rent, but as part of a reciprocal agreement that ensured the well-being of the entire community, including the support of leaders and religious institutions. This tribute often took the form of labor, building canals, dragging massive stones for monumental architecture, or serving as porters for the Inca state. It wasn't servitude in the European sense. It was a civic duty, a contribution to the collective good that was often reciprocated with feasts, protection, and resources from communal storehouses. Religion, too, was not a Sunday affair, a separate compartment of life. It was utterly embedded in every aspect of existence, from the way you planted a potato to the way you organized your society. Mountains were not just geological features, they were gods, powerful ancestors, or sacred places. Ancestors watched over the living from carved skulls or venerated bundles. The Milky Way was seen as a cosmic river feeding the underworld, connecting the living and the dead. While ritual warfare, captive sacrifice, and bloodletting might sound brutal to modern ears, they were often deeply meaningful, underwriting a profound social and cosmic contract. These practices were believed to ensure the sun would rise, the rains would come, the crops would grow, and that order would ultimately outlast chaos. They were acts of profound spiritual significance, designed to maintain balance in a world seen as interconnected and animated by powerful forces. When we look at the incredible achievements of pre-Columbian societies, it's often striking to note what was missing compared to Old World developments. There were no wheeled carts for transport, no iron tools for heavy construction or agriculture, and no gunpowder for warfare. Yet these absences did not equate to a lack of technological sophistication. Rather, they spurred different forms of ingenuity. Instead of iron, you find incredibly sophisticated metallurgy, particularly in the Andes. Gold was not primarily for currency, but for status, adorning rulers and high priests. Silver was often associated with moon rituals and deities, and arsenical bronze, a complex alloy, was used to create durable axes and tools, showcasing advanced knowledge of smelting and alloying. Textiles, especially in the Andes, became a form of record-keeping, a vital technology. The famous quipu, intricate systems of knotted cords, encoded census data, historical narratives, and economic transactions. Imagine an entire administrative system built on knots. Amazonian peoples spun spider silk so fine that early Spanish priests, encountering its delicate beauty, swore it must have been woven by demons. In engineering, the achievements were astounding. In the Northeast woodlands, the Iroquois Confederacy engineered a 300-foot suspension bridge of twisted elm fibers across the Genesee River, a testament to their understanding of materials and structural integrity. Farmers in Yucatan stored precious rainwater in vast underground cisterns called choltons, crucial for survival in a region with no surface rivers. The irrigation canals of the Hohokam in Arizona predate modern canals in the region by 8 centuries, a legacy still visible today. The absence of large draft animals like horses or oxen certainly meant human porters and foot power were paramount for transport. But this limitation also had a profound, albeit tragic, side effect. It spared the Americas from Old World plagues like smallpox, measles, and influenza. Until, of course, Europeans arrived and inadvertently brought them, unleashing a devastating demographic catastrophe. Their technological path was different, but no less brilliant or effective for their specific environments. The relationship between environment and culture is a fascinating one, and the Americas provide a masterclass in its nuances. Environment shapes culture, yes, but it certainly doesn't dictate it. Consider the desert farmers who grew cotton, not just for clothing, but to spin into robust fishing nets, adapting a resource to an unexpected need. Or maritime peoples who burned seashells to create lime, which they then used to fertilize maize fields, turning an abundant local resource into agricultural advantage. Languages, too, track this incredible ingenuity and deep connection to the environment. Inuit dialects, for instance, are famous for having dozens of terms for snow and ice, each describing a specific state or condition, a testament to their intimate knowledge of their Arctic home. The Hopi language encodes tense in ways that often make physicists marvel, highlighting a different conceptualization of time than in Indo-European languages. These aren't just words, they're windows into unique worldviews. Trade wasn't just about economics. It was a powerful engine for spreading ideas, technologies, and cultural practices, often faster than armies could conquer. Turquoise from the mines of New Mexico ended up in the intricate mosaics of Aztec temples. Maya cacao beans, prized for their flavor, served as a valuable form of currency in distant Arizona pueblos. These networks weren't just lines on a map. They were vibrant arteries connecting disparate communities, fostering exchange and mutual influence. When you span the entire length of these two continents, from the frigid Arctic to the windswept Tierra del Fuego, what you get is a human mosaic no less intricate, no less diverse, and no less fascinating than anything found across Eurasia. It's a story of incredible human adaptation, resilience, and creativity compressed into two continents that, for millennia, followed their own unique developmental paths, never knowing the wheel for transport, but nonetheless building worlds of astonishing complexity.
If this whirlwind tour has started to rewire your mental map of the past, if it sparked a sense of wonder about these incredible civilizations, then know this: we've only just begun to scratch the surface. Hit that subscribe button because the journey continues. I'll be diving deep into Cahokia's bustling neighborhoods, tracing the engineering genius behind the Inca road system, and unearthing more forgotten histories from across the Americas. Don't forget to like and share this video. Help others travel beyond 1492 and rediscover the brilliance of this pre-Columbian world. This is just the beginning of a 15-episode series I'm currently working on, each one exploring a new layer of America's ancient past. Stay tuned. History is about to come alive.